What's good with your fam? What's good? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. Hey, man, listen, first off, I want to welcome everybody to the channel. And if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, fam. Give me 1 second. Let me check this audio, make sure everything is copacetic. And I'll be right back, man. We had some fun fights this weekend. We had Wilder and Ortiz was, ended in dramatic fashion as we thought it might. Okay, yeah, we're good, fam. Let me see. Make a little adjustments here. There we go. All right. Okay, man. Listen, man. I don't usually go live a lot, but I'm gonna go live this morning. Mr. Pigeon Mike Tyson, what's good with you, fam? Stop too soon, really? That's a no conversation. I agree with you, man. Fly Tie Blizzy, I appreciate you coming in, man. He said, nah, Ortiz got knocked out. I agree with you, man. But before we get to Ortiz, man, I want to talk a little bit about the rest of the things that's happened in the sport of boxing, man. We had Rene Alvarado, man. He ended Andrew Casillo's short title reign by stopping him in the 7th round. It was a little get back from their 2015 meeting where Casillo stopped him, knocked him out, you know what I mean, in their first fight. But, for Alvarado, it's a little bit more sweeter than Casillo's victory those couple years ago, because this time it was for the WBA super featherweight title, man. So congrats to him, man. Casillo, he had a couple losses. I think he got about 4 or 5 losses now, man. Alvarado, he got about 8 losses. So, when you look at it, man, this is encouragement for those fighters out there who got losses and think that they may never get a title shot, man. This is a little bit of encouragement, man, because Rene Alvarado, like I said, he got 8 losses, man, and he was able to go in there and defeat Casillo. We know Casillo won the title by fighting highly touted Alberto Machado. Now, a lot of fight fans, a lot of media, they was hyping this guy Alvarado up. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be Machado. He was supposed to be the next big thing, but Andrew Casillo went in there and whooped him, beat him up to the body. You know what I'm saying? Then did it again. The same thing again, man. So, he had his 15 minutes of fame. He wanted to be world champion. And he became world champion, man. So, he can forever be happy of that accomplishment, man. And, congrats to Rene Alvarado for becoming, the WBA super featherweight champion, man. Now let's go over to the UK, man, where Callum Smith, who a lot of people seems to be talking about, man. Callum Smith, did he receive a gift against John Ryder? A lot of people saying that John Ryder gave Callum Smith everything that he wanted. Smith, he had some moments in the fight, but in my opinion, it just looked like Ryder was the boss in that fight. Ryder was more aggressive, and he was backing Callum Smith up. Even later on in the fight, it seemed like Ryder was the guy who had more energy, more stamina. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the one that was pushing the action, man. Jay West, what's going on with your fam? I appreciate you stopping through, man. So a lot of people thought the scorecards was a little wide. One judge had it 117 to 111, and the other two had it 116 to 112. John Ryder and his team was disappointed, man. This is why some people don't get into boxing, because they watch a fight where they can clearly see one guy is winning the fight, and then you go to the scorecards and you get crazy scores like this. Now, the fight was close, you know what I'm saying? I think people are just surprised that Ryder put up the the fight that he did. You know what I mean? A lot of people been hyping Callum Smith up so much that a lot of people just thought that Smith was just gonna go in there and run over Ryder. You know what I mean? And that wasn't the case. You know, so it was a close fight, man. It was a close fight, way closer than the judges had it. But Callum Smith, he kind of walks away with a victory here, man, that maybe he didn't deserve, man. Mr. Pigeon says, I'm UK. Callum Smith is a joker. I had Ryder a draw. Canelo, Plant, Benavidez, and even Billy Joe will beat Smith. Canelo by KO. He comes back and says Smith got famous for beating an injured George Groves. I agree, man. And a lot of people just crowned him king off of that one performance. You know what I mean? There's a saying that you can't judge a fighter off of one bad performance. Well, it goes two ways, man. You flip that coin over. You can't judge a fighter off of one good performance. You know what I'm saying? Callum Smith, yeah, he's a good fighter, but you can't crown him king and just say he's the best super middleweight out there, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be consistent with it on the elite level, man, to be considered one of the best fighters, man. Mr. Pigeon also says, I think Andrade will beat him if he went to super middleweight. Yeah, Andrade, man, I can't wait to see him in a meaningful fight. You understand what I'm saying? But we'll see, man. We will see, man. Callum Smith, what's the next for him? I don't know. He had his eye busted up. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure his pride is a little hurt, even though he got the victory, man. Everybody's talking about how he was gifted a decision. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. He may come back and try to try to work extra hard to get that smear off of his name. You understand what I'm saying? But however you look at it, he retains his WBC title and he moves on to live another day, man. We're going to move on, man. Deontay Wilder's little brother, Marcellus Wilder, he gets knocked out again in the 4th round, man, by a journeyman, Dustin Long. You understand what I'm saying? This is Wilder's second knockout defeat. He only has 7 fights. I understand the man started boxing late. I believe he was 29 years old when he started fighting. I don't know why he started fighting. I guess he was just looking at his brother and, admiring all the accolades he was receiving and all the praise he was receiving, and he wanted a little taste for himself. But I just think he need to find a new profession, man. You know what I'm saying? Find a new profession. I'm sure Deontay got a job for him, because lacing up a pair of gloves and getting into the ring clearly is not working out for him, man. He's been knocked out now by 2 guys that he was supposed to go in there and blow away. You understand what I'm saying? Matador, what's good with your fam? Matador says Canelo needs to unify at 160. I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. Gota, I see you in here, man. Your message was retracted, but I appreciate you coming through. My man Matador also says that Marcellus Wilder, he wasn't meant for boxing. I agree with you, man. He just, some guys are meant to do other things. You know what I mean? He looks the part, you know what I'm saying? He looks just like Wilder, like a Greek god, but, in the ring, man, that chin, that button got tapped, and we clearly see that he doesn't have the chin of Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Rod Rook Davies, what's good with your fam? Appreciate you stopping through. He said, I'm so tired of these refs not giving the guy chance to continue. So my man Rod Rook believes that Luis Ortiz could have continued. He believed that Kenny Bayless should have gave him some more time. If you think back to the Wilder Tyson Fury fight, if Jack Reese would have just waved off Fury, we would have never seen Fury be able to come back and do good in that round. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, if Kenny Bayless did the same thing that Jack Reese gave Luis Ortiz, the same blessings that Reese gave Fury, would Ortiz be able to come back? You know what I mean? Would he have been able to come back? We're going to talk about it more, man. But first, I want to talk about Luis Neri, man. Luis Neri was supposed to be on the undercard of this fight. He comes in 1 pound overweight. He's supposed to face Emmanuel Rodriguez. Team Neri offered Rodriguez team $100,000 to continue on with the fight, but Rodriguez team turned it down. That kind of right there kind of tells me that Rodriguez, they wasn't too confident, you know what I'm saying, and fighting anyway. You know what I mean? 1 pound overweight is not really a big deal. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that he should have took advantage of this opportunity to be on pay-per-view, to be seen by millions of people, man. This type of exposure does not come around all the time, man. And I just think Emmanuel Rodriguez blew a big opportunity, man. And Luis Neri, he needs to get it together, man. He is not professional. In fact, the monster Inoue, the unified champ at bantamweight, he came out and said that Luis Neri need to be banned for not coming in weight. You know what I mean? Fight fans and media, everybody's talking about the fight between Neri and Inoue, but we may never see it. You know what I'm saying? We may never see it. I think it's time for Neri to excuse me. I think it's time for Neri to move up, man. You know what I'm saying? If you keep missing weight consistently, man, I think it's time for you to move up. You know what I'm saying? It's time for you to move up, man. But the monster came out and said, man, this guy needs to be banned. You know what I mean? Get his ass up out of the sport because he's unprofessional. And it's really sad, man, that, you know what I mean, on a big stage like the Wilder Ortiz pay-per-view where, you know what I'm saying, you was going to be viewed by so many people, man. So many eyes would have been on you. And you cannot be professional enough to come in on weight. You understand what I'm saying? He needs to be more disciplined, man. Needs to be more disciplined. Elver Goda says Alvarez is probably never fighting at middleweight again. Yeah, I agree with you. Matador says Ortiz was out. Another bomb would have just put his health at serious risk. Matador says Tyson got up like a possessed man without wobbly legs. Yes, Matador also says Neri is unprofessional, not the first time. I agree with you. Chrissy Chris from the UK, what's good with your fam? Thanks for stopping through. He says, come on, Ortiz, you was out, bro. Brazil said the same thing, and referee stopping it too early, shaking my head. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Also on that PBC undercard, man, Ramirez, he stops Barthélemy in the 4th round. Revenging his previous loss to Barthélemy. They fought before, and Ramirez lost. Barthélemy's he's like his older brother Rances. They got an ugly style, and basically I don't care if I ever see him again. You know what I mean? I think his style is not fan friendly. It's an ugly, awkward style. He does not box like the traditional, exciting Cuban fighters, like a Luis Ortiz, like the rest of these guys that's coming out of there, man. Also, Leo Santa Cruz, man. Leo Santa Cruz was on this undercard. He went up against Miguel Flores. Now, these guys were supposed to fight early on in the year, but because of Flores, I think he had a foot injury or something, man, the fight had to be postponed. So they got in there and got it on. It was a boring fight, terrible fight. I did not enjoy it. But, it showed that Flores came to fight. You know what I'm saying? He did not lay down for Leo Santa Cruz. There was no exciting moments in the fight. Santa Cruz did not hurt him at all, did not buzz him at all, did not take control of this fight the way that, you would think that he would. And then after the fight, he mentioned Gary Russell's name vaguely, you know what I'm saying? But he is adamant about fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, me personally, I got Gervonta Tank Davis going in there and just wiping the ring with Leo Santa Cruz, man. Leo does not hit hard enough to keep Tank off of him. He showed me absolutely nothing in the fight with Flores. And Gervonta Tank Davis will just eat him up, just gobble him all up. He will be food for Gervonta Davis. But he's adamant about fighting him. He keeps calling him out. He keeps saying that he'll fight him. He even said that he'll move up to 135 to fight him. You know what I mean? And I think it's career suicide for Leo Santa Cruz to keep pursuing Gervonta Tank Davis. But you got to admire his heart. You got to admire him, his courage. And we'll see if, we'll see if that fight actually materializes, man. But I just think that's a bad decision. We'll see. We will see. The Matador says, Rigondeaux is my favorite Cuban fighter. Yes, no doubt. He says Santa Cruz wants a big payday. He's selling out. I agree with you, fam. I definitely agree with you. Now on to the main event, the big fight of the weekend, the fight that everybody's talking about, and that is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and Luis King Kong Ortiz. Now this fight started pretty much off as the first fight. Both guys pretty much coming out there feeling each other out. Not doing too much, man. Well, Luis Ortiz, he actually started a little faster. You know what I'm saying? He caught Wilder with some pretty good straight lefts. You know what I mean? He was digging down to Wilder's body pretty good. And I thought, should the fight go later on in the fight, man, those body shots may have, came into play. You know what I'm saying? Should the fight, have went a little longer, man, because he was them body shots was solid. They wasn't grazing body shots. He was digging in Wilder's body. He caught Wilder with, some pretty good lefts. Wilder's chin held up pretty good. There was one or two times that I thought Wilder may have been buzzed, but Wilder was able to overcome, man. He was real patient, and that's one thing that I enjoy about Deontay Wilder. You can say what you want about his skills and everything else, man, but Wilder is a patient man. He was just in there waiting for the perfect opportunity. Like myself, like a lot of other people, was wondering why he wasn't throwing that right hand a lot. He was throwing it, but he wasn't throwing it a lot. He wasn't throwing it with conviction. You know what I'm saying? But we seen that when it counted, he was able to make it count, man. So shout out to Deontay Wilder, man. He went in there and did what he was supposed to do. Luis Ortiz, he is out here saying that the referee, Kenny Bayless, stopped it too soon. He's saying that, he wasn't hurt. He said that, he was hurt, but his mind was clear. He said that if he was given a few more seconds, you know what I'm saying, it was the end of the round, he would have had that minute in between rounds to recover. He believed that he could have finished the fight. Now, me personally, I think Luis Ortiz, King Kong, was out of there. You understand me? He was out of there. I mean, his eyes rolled back into his head. I watched the replay several times. I watched the knockout several times. There was no way that Luis Ortiz was going to get up from that shot. Continue from that shot. He was able to get up, but he was on wobbly legs, just like Brazil. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't have finished that. He couldn't have finished that, man. You know what I mean? There was no way he was going to finish that fight. Luis Ortiz did a good job, man. He came in the best shape of his life. He started off fast. He started off looking good, bouncing on his toes. He kind of trotted to the ring. You understand me? But in the end, none of it mattered. You start to see in the fifth round that Ortiz, he started to lose a little bit of steam. His hands started to drop a little bit more. That bounce in his step wasn't as springy, wasn't as bouncy. And Wilder started to come on. He started to gain confidence, started to become more active. I did a live broadcast during that fight, and I said, Wilder looks a little bit confused. I thought Wilder looked a little bit confused. I thought that, he needed to have a sense of urgency. And right as I was thinking that, it seemed like that's when Wilder clicked on. Was about the end of the fifth round. The second half of the fifth round, I think he started pressing the action a little bit more, and he got to Ortiz, and that punch just came out of nowhere too, man. You know what I mean? It came out of nowhere. It didn't look all that like he, winded up for it. You know what I'm saying? He just shot it straight down the pipe. You know what I mean? Knocked the sweat out of his, kitty kit. But it was an exciting knockout, as Wilder always does. He always performs with an exciting knockout. Matador says you got to start fast against Wilder. Only chance is to knock him out before he knocks you out, or work his body so much that and take the steam off his punches. I agree, and that was my thing about Wilder. If before AJ suffered his loss, you know what I'm saying. That was the chance that I gave AJ. You know what I'm saying. I said if AJ come out there and jump right on Wilder, you know what I mean. That would be his best chance to win. That would be his only chance to win, was to jump right on Wilder, because we know Wilder is a slow starter. You know what I'm saying. And Anthony Joshua, he was known as a good finisher. You know what I'm saying? So if he was to jump on Wilder, that would be his only chance to do that early. Elver Goda says the only thing Wilder got going is that Alabama hammer. I agree with you, man. He does not have the type of technique that everybody loves to see, that boxing fans are clamoring for. Manny Mota, what's good with you, fam? Good morning, everyone. He says, speaking to the chat. I had some people over watching the fight with me, man, and that's what they were saying. Who these some of them never seen Wilder before, and they were turned off by his fighting style. You know what I'm saying? And then the knockout came just out of nowhere, and everybody just was looking at each other. You know what I'm saying that this guy lost all these rounds, but he comes in with one shot and knocks him out. And I'm trying to explain to him, man, that that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, Luis Ortiz was winning every round. You may can argue one round in there for Wilder, but I think Luis Ortiz was winning every round, but in the end, it does not matter with Deontay Wilder. He even said afterwards, I don't care about the scorecards. I'm not looking at the scorecards, because I know what this right hand going to do. You understand? And I believe him. I believe him in every fight, man. A fighter has to be perfect for 12 whole rounds. And it's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to be mentally disciplined for 12 whole rounds, man, to be cognizant about this guy's punching power for 12 whole rounds. You understand what I'm saying? Evler Gota says Joshua will kill Wilder. Joshua is no bum. Ranked over 30 or old man. Fury was robbed against Wilder. So we can see right now that Elver Gota is not a Deontay Wilder fan. And that's cool, man. That's what this channel is about. It's about being able to express yourself, man, and debate about different things about the sport, man. If you may like this guy and another person may not, and that's all good, man. I will never judge you, man. You can speak your mind over here, man. This is what it's all about, man. I really wanted to see that fight, Joshua and Wilder, you know what I'm saying? And by Andy Ruiz coming in and playing spoiler, that kind of messed everything up, man. You know what I mean? But Anthony Joshua has a chance to right his wrong. Anthony Joshua in 2 weeks has a chance to change the narrative. And let me explain to you how he can do that. If Anthony Joshua goes in here and beat the snot out of Andy Ruiz, like everyone thought he was going to do the first time, if he goes in there and shows everyone that the first fight when Andy Ruiz was a fluke, that can erase that L. You know what I mean? You could chalk it up to he had a concussion. You could chalk it up to he had a panic attack. You could chop it up to he was sick. All those excuses that everybody was giving Anthony Joshua for the first fight. If he comes out here in the second fight and totally destroys Andy Ruiz, man, I believe that first loss, goes away. And people will chalk it up as Anthony Joshua had a bad night. And then the conversation begins, AJ and Wilder. But AJ has made it clear that, he does not want to discuss Wilder. And he says that even after the fight with Andy Ruiz, he will not entertain. This is his words. I heard it out of his own mouth. He will not entertain Deontay Wilder. Wow, that's big. You know what I mean? What does that say about Anthony Joshua? You know what I'm saying? Why did he say that? What does that mean? You will not entertain Deontay Wilder. What does that mean? I don't know. El Vergoda says, I'm a boxing fan, and Wilder has made a career fighting bums ranked over 30. Wow. My man, I hear you. But, I do think I've been watching these videos. You see, in Anthony Joshua seems to be real serious about his craft. Seems to be, ready to right his wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? At first, I was a little unsure. I'm like, damn, Anthony, I don't like the way Anthony Joshua was talking. You know what I mean? He didn't sound confident. He didn't sound like a man who wanted to get his titles back. You know what I mean? It seemed like he was just going with the punches. But these last couple weeks, Anthony Joshua has been saying all the right things. You know what I'm saying? I was so elated when I heard the interview, and I forget who it was, man. It may have been Coogan Cassius. He asked Anthony Joshua what was going to happen, what he was going to do in the rematch. And to my surprise, Anthony Joshua says, I'm going to whoop him. You know what I'm saying? That's the most definitive answer that he has given in a long time. You know what I'm saying? He says, I'm going to whoop him. He's talked about how everybody is crowning Andy Ruiz king just after one big win. You know what I mean? And Anthony Joshua, he wants some get back. I think Anthony Joshua is going to get his straps back. I know a lot of people in the States don't really care for Joshua. Joshua does have a suspect chin, but I think it's all about your mental, man, your mental fortitude, man. And I believe if AJ comes into this fight mentally strong, focused, if he is very confident that he can beat Andy Ruiz, I think Andy Ruiz doesn't stand a chance, man. Anthony Joshua, I recently watched that first fight over again, man. It just amazes me how Anthony Joshua towers over Andy Ruiz, man. And if Anthony Joshua sticks his jab out there, man, and there's nothing Andy Ruiz will be able to do. You know what I'm saying? He just can keep him at bay with his jab. But credit to Andy Ruiz, man. He knows how to cut the ring off. He knows how to cut the distance, and he's able to get inside. I was listening to an interview with Evander the Real Deal Holyfield, who sparred Andy Ruiz in the past, and he said that there was nobody in his boxing career that was able to push him back except for Andy Ruiz. He says Andy Ruiz, the way he cuts the ring off, the way he gets inside is phenomenal, man. This is coming from a Hall of Famer like Evander Holyfield. So, we always knew that Andy Ruiz had skills, you know what I'm saying? But none of us could have seen that he would go in there and do what he did to Anthony Joshua, man. You just couldn't see it, man. You just could not see it. What we got here? Matador says he got that hungry look. No doubt. El Vergoda says Ruiz has too much boxing ability for Joshua, and he's faced tougher competition than Wilder. Ruiz was robbed against Parker. Matador says he sparred James Toney too. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know he sparred James Toney. Ruiz, he's definitely experienced. You know what I mean? One thing about him, he has been around the block. He has been boxing since he was a little boy. And, he knows his way around the ring. You know what I'm saying? But, the knock on Andy Ruiz, at least coming out of Top Rank, one of the reasons why Top Rank let him go, because, Andy Ruiz discipline. They said, he was not motivated. He was not motivated enough for them. You know what I mean? He wasn't able to look at Siri. Siri just talk when she want to talk. They said he wasn't motivated, man. You know what I mean? He was lazy and didn't train like a champion. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they let him go. And I think that had Anthony Joshua fought him right away, I think that would have served him better, because Ruiz, in my opinion, he was caught up in the stardom. He was on every talk show that you can think of. He was waving and kissing babies. He was, having parades. He went to the Mexican White House, and what I'm saying. He was just caught up in the superstardom, and I do think it would have been similar to the Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, when Duran won and he was out partying, gained all this weight, and then all of a sudden the rematch was here. You know what I mean? And he just could not get back and fight in shape. He just could not get up for the second fight with Leonard, and thus we have the no moss. And I think had Anthony Joshua caught him right after, the immediate rematch, right after the first fight, I think it would have served him better. But we'll see. We'll see. We got about 2 weeks left, man, and I think it's going to be a really good fight, man. And like I said, my man Legendary Top Cat's in the building. He says, turn up one time, big face. I appreciate you sliding through, fam. For those of you who are not subscribed to my man Legendary Top Cats, go over there and check him out. Very unique. He puts it down, man. He puts it down. Lewis Coleman in the building. What's good with you, fam? He says Wilder power saves him from his mistakes. That's right. You ain't lying, man. Wilder can go in there and do everything wrong for 11 rounds. He can do everything wrong from round 1 to round 11. You know what I'm saying? And you can have 30 seconds left in the fight. But long as he got that right hand, he can end that fight. You know what I'm saying? In that fight, in the victory, man. So every fighter is always going to be aware of that. And one thing that we've learned about Wilder is that his power doesn't fade as the fight goes on. His power is still there. He knocks fighters out late. He knocks them out early. Where some fighters they are front runners. They go out and knock a fighter out earlier. You know what I'm saying? And the later the fight goes, you know what I'm saying, they lose their power. Their knockouts are not consistent. Wilder ain't one of those dudes, man. Wilder will get your ass up out of there, whether it's round 1 or round 12. Excuse me. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button for me while y'all in here, man. Trap House Boxing. What's good with you, fam? I appreciate you stopping through, man. I was on your channel this morning, man. I'm checking out your videos, man. Go subscribe to Trap House Boxing as well. Very well versed with this boxing thing, man. Knowledgeable. Go check them out, man. I appreciate you, man. Bang that like button for me, fam. I appreciate it. But the thing that people is saying now is that Eddie Hearn and Joshua, they're taking Andrew Ruiz over to Saudi Arabia to rob him. You know what I mean? To stick him up. You know what I mean? Make him put his hands up. Put it in a bag. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see, man. We're going to see. They got the stadium built. I've seen pictures of it. It don't look too big, man. You know what I'm saying? It look like it's just Roman gladiator style. You know what I mean? Look like the Coliseum or something, where two guys just gonna go in there and get busy. But we'll see what happens, man. Anthony Joshua, he seems a little bit hungrier as we get closer to the fight. Elver Gota says Wilder is probably the biggest puncher I ever seen, and if he had decent boxing ability, he'd be unbeatable. I think he's unbeatable without the boxing ability, fam. I just can't see any fighter being mentally focused for a whole 12 rounds, man. I think Wilder eventually is going to catch you slipping, no matter who you are. Trap House Boxing says, appreciate that, famo. Already jabbed that. I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, but Wilder, you know what I'm saying, it's been proven over and over that he don't need the technical skills. He don't have to have them fundamentals, man. All he need is that one hitter quitter, that Alabama hammer, and it's nights out. It's lights out. You know what I mean? He done it time and time again. Everybody who stepped in the ring with Wilder has been knocked out. Tyson Fury was able to wake up and get up. You know what I mean? But I do believe he was knocked out in that fight. Credit to Jack Reese for giving Fury that, those extra seconds, because Fury, he proved that, you know what I'm saying, he was able, his legs were steady. He proved that he was able to come back and fight. And Fury fought his ass off in the rest of that round. You know what I'm saying? But I think if in the rematch, Deontay Wilder gets him out of there ASAP, Rocky, real quick in devastating fashion. Leonard Ellerby was quoted saying he don't see the fight going past 5. I agree with him, man. I don't see it going past, I'll say around 7, 8. You know what I mean? Because Fury is a slick boxer. Ben Davison, who was Fury's trainer, he was in the building, you know, scouting, getting a scouting report on Deontay Wilder, man. And, you know, he made it clear that Luis Ortiz is not no Tyson Fury. You understand? And I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury is more slicker, way more slicker, and have better movement than Luis Ortiz, man. But one thing about Wilder, he's not going to respect Fury's punching power. So he's not going to be as cautious as he was with Luis Ortiz. If you think back to the first fight from round 1, Wilder was on Fury's ass. He was trying to get him up out of there, and he was overthrowing that right hand because he was trying to knock him out too fast, too bad. He wanted that scalp on his wall, you know what I'm saying? And I think this fight he'll be a little bit more patient. He'll be a little bit more calculated, and you know, I think that'll do him well. You know what I'm saying? That'll do him well in the rematch. El Vergoda says, "Come on, fam. Tyson Fury already beat Wilder," and that's a, you know what I'm saying, that's an argument. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it one way or the other. You know, I do think that the two knockdowns does, you know what I'm saying, give Wilder at least the draw. You know what I mean? But had it not been for those knockdowns, in my opinion, Fury was boxing the shit out of Wilder. He was boxing Wilder beautifully. But I think with the two knockdowns, man, you know, he caught up to him and was able to get a draw. You know, I could see Fury winning that fight. I could see a draw. But in my opinion, you know, without the knockout, Wilder, you know, he couldn't win that fight. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't win that fight. But the second fight, I think Wilder will be able to you know, do what he been doing, and that is have a devastating knockout, man. Matador says Fury is definitely more at risk of getting laid out if Wilder comes in patient. Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think that's the adjustment that Wilder's gonna make. He gonna come in there and he's gonna be more patient. He's looked at the first fight. He already talked about it, man. He was over anxious. He wanted to knock Fury out in devastating fashion, and Fury took advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? When Wilder would miss, Fury would catch him, pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? Counterpunch him very frequent and often. You know, Fury has been accused of being a boring fighter, you know, not fun to watch. But I got to admit, in that Deontay Wilder fight, Fury was not boring. He was very entertaining, man. He was doing a number on Wilder. You know, he was doing a number on Wilder. I'm gonna keep it a buck. He was doing a number on Wilder. You know, but you know, Wilder got that eraser, you know, and even things up when he dropped Fury them 2 times. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll see. Can Wilder be ready for a February 22nd fight? You know, that's only 12 weeks away. You know what I'm saying? Can he be ready for Tyson Fury by February 22nd? Now, Wilder took some decent shots from Luis Ortiz in that fight the other night. You know, some good left hands, some good shots to the body. You know, can he recuperate and rest, you know what I'm saying, for a couple weeks and jump right into another training camp? We know the holidays is coming up. You got Thanksgiving coming up in a couple days. You got Christmas. You know, we know Deontay Wilder is a big family man. You know, got 7 children, a big family. You know, he's going to want to enjoy his family for the holidays. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be able to focus on training 100% over the holidays? You know, that's the question. That's the question. And at first, I didn't think Fury was going to be eager to jump back in with Wilder. Well, we've already seen that he wasn't eager, but I just thought that, you know, he didn't want to fight him no more. You know, especially after the Luis Ortiz fight the other night, I just knew Tyson Fury was going to run for the hills. But when he tweeted out that, Wilder only has a puncher's chance to win, and I'll see you February 22nd. It made me think a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? It made me think a little bit. And Tyson Fury said something that, opened my eyes. He said, everybody's saying he don't want to take the fight, that he's scared of Wilder. You got to remember, I was out of the ring for 2-3 years, sitting on the couch, blew up to 400 pounds, and he came right out of retirement, fought the milkman and the mailman, and jumped right in there with Deontay Wilder. So I don't think Tyson Fury is scared of Wilder like everybody thinks. Now his family, is putting pressure on him not to fight him. His family is definitely fearful for him. They don't want to see him go in there against Deontay Wilder. But Tyson Fury himself, I think he'll get in there and fight Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll get in there and fight Wilder. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But my hope is, in a perfect world, Andy Ruiz, this is in a perfect world. You hear me when I say that? You hear me, man? In a perfect world, Andy Ruiz goes in there and do what he done in the first time. Beats Anthony Joshua. They pay Tyson Fury some step aside money, and Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz fight for one name, one face, one champion in the first quarter of next year. Now that's in a perfect world. I would love to have an undisputed champion at heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? I do believe a fight between Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder would be nonstop action, because we will see Deontay Wilder up against a different style in Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is going to be aggressive. Andy Ruiz is going to be quick. He's going to throw a whole lot of punches. And I would love to see that fight, man. Matador says Fury is definitely more at risk of getting laid out. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Matador says he has a lot of momentum, though Fury looking bad and over there fighting at WWE. And one thing else, man, Fury got that cut over his eye. I did not believe that cut will be healed by February. You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe it. You see, he had 2 cuts, and them joints was deep and big as hell. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, Fury ain't gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? But if he decides to go in there and fight, That cut just may reopen. You know what I'm saying? It just may be open. He may not care about it. You understand where I'm coming from? So we'll see. We'll see, man. The heavyweight division is really intriguing right now. It's on fire. It's lit. We want to see who's the baddest man, who's the last man standing. That's what we want to see. And we got the possibility of seeing that next year. You know what I'm saying? And AJ, but AJ worries me though. AJ worries me. If he beats Ruiz, I'm not sure that he'll fight Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure that he'll fight Wilder. So that's kind of why, the only reason why I don't want AJ to win, because he ain't gonna be ready to unify. He already said it. He said he don't want to entertain Deontay Wilder before Andy Ruiz fight or after. So that tells you right there that, you know what I'm saying, he ain't getting in there, man. El Vergoda says Ruiz is all wrong for Wilder. Too much speed, boxing ability, and power. And I do think that will present an aspect that we have not seen Wilder in. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Wilder in with the guy who has the style of Andy Ruiz. So that will make it all the more interesting. You understand what I'm saying? All the more interesting. So hopefully, we get to check it out. You know what I'm saying? We get to check it out. Matador says Ruiz and Wilder are in the same stable. Yes, and that's my point. That, that fight will be so easy to make. You know what I mean? So easy to make. They have already talked about it. Ruiz says he wants to be undisputed. We all know that Wilder wants to be undisputed. Al Heyman can make it happen, get it cracking like a real captain, and I think that fight can happen the first half of next year. But it all depends on if Andy Ruiz is able to be successful against Anthony Joshua? Can he slay Goliath one more time? You know, can he do it again, or was it a fluke? A lot of people think it was a fluke. I'm one of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? I like Andy Ruiz. I think he got hella skills. I just don't know. I just don't know. I have to see. I can't look at one performance and crown you king just off of that one performance. You know what I'm saying? I've watched Andy Ruiz fight plenty of times. I've seen Andy Ruiz gas out in the second half of fights. I've seen it with my own eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Against Joseph Parker, he slowed down in that second half of the fight. Had he kept pushing the gas like he did in the first half, there would be no issue on who won that fight. You know what I'm saying? There would be no controversy on who won that fight. You know what I'm saying? Elver Gota says, heavyweight is always interesting, but it's probably the least talented division in boxing. I definitely agree with that. But it's the most exciting. You know, it's the most exciting. Matador said, yeah, that's why he's the underdog again. Yeah, that's why. And, you know, I want to bring up one thing, man. Deontay Wilder has just joined an elite group of fighters that has 10 or more title defenses at heavyweight. He joins Joe Louis, who has 25 title defenses. I do believe there's no way that Deontay Wilder will be able to catch Joe Louis with 25 defenses. Deontay Wilder is already 34 years old, you know what I'm saying? So he would have to fight 15 more times, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think that he'll catch Joe Louis. But who else? Rocky Marciano, Larry Holmes, and Muhammad Ali, you know? So that is very good company for Deontay Wilder to be in. I've said this. I made a video about this earlier this year. That we right now are witnessing something special. You know, witnessing something great. Whether or not you agree with you like Deontay Wilder's style, whether you say he's sloppy Wilder, he's a windmill, regardless, throw that out the window. What you are watching right now in Deontay Wilder is something spectacular. You know what I'm saying? If you look at his record, you know, you could say he fought 30 bums or whatever. If you look at his record, you know, there's other heavyweights who have fought lesser competition who didn't have the knockouts that Wilder has. Wilder has knocked out or knocked down every single fighter he has been in the ring with. And that is amazing to me. You understand what I'm saying? But people now, the public, the media, everybody now is finally starting to take notice that Deontay Wilder is something special. You know, I'm reading these articles by Dan Raphael, who has been a Wilder hater in the past, Steve Kim, who has been a Wilder hater in the past. These guys who are so-called mainstream media, and now they are singing a different tune, man. Now they are recognizing what Deontay Wilder is doing, and that he's making history. You know, he is making history. When you get the stars to come out, you know what I'm saying, the beef that him and Mike Tyson had, you know, Mike Tyson shows up, you know, and he had his cherry red leather pea coat on, man, looking dapper. You understand me? Mike Tyson was there. The stars came out to see Deontay Wilder. The singer Neo. There were so many stars in the room, man, that, you know, it's too many to name. And I think that one thing that Fox need to start doing is showing. That's one thing that HBO used to do. They used to always show the stars and the elite in the room, you know, because that makes the fight more enticing. That makes the people at home want to watch even more and want to be in the room even more. When you have these elite people in society, these elite public figures, entertainers, and everybody come out, that's the hype around the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? People want to be a part of that. You know, people like, you know, back in the day when you have a party, man, and everybody who's anybody is there. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of events that everybody wants to be a part of. And Deontay Wilder is starting to command that. You know what I'm saying? How many fights have you seen Floyd Mayweather come out to attend that's not really, under his stable? You know what I'm saying? Yes, Mayweather Promotions had a hand in this promotion, but there's been a lot of fights that Mayweather Promotions had a hand in promoting that Floyd did not attend. Floyd Mayweather was front and center. Y'all see the thumbnail of this video, man. When Luis Ortiz is on the ground, Floyd Mayweather's in the background looking amazed, like, God damn. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And earlier last week, I did a video. Deontay Wilder sat down with Boxing Scene, and he talked about how Floyd Mayweather, he didn't get Floyd's blessing. You know what I'm saying? And he talked about how he don't need his blessing. You understand? And he gonna create his own legacy. He gonna create his own lane. He gonna demand his own respect. And a day or so later, Floyd comes out that he's fighting again. Floyd does this every 5 or 6 months. He comes out and punk fakes. You know what I'm saying? Throws a flea flicker, says he's coming in. Coming back to fight. Me personally, I think Floyd needs to stay retired. Floyd Mayweather had a beautiful career. Floyd Mayweather is one of the best that ever did it and got away with it. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? And him coming back, I think it puts himself at danger. The guy's, 42, 43 years old. Don't go out like Sugar Ray Leonard, man. It hurted me to see, who was it? Hector Camacho do the Sugar Ray Leonard the way he did it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I would hate for Floyd Mayweather to come back, man, and be savagely knocked out or even get seriously hurt, man. So I think he needs to stay retired. I think he will stay retired. I think this was just another ploy to get his name in the mix, to stir up some controversy and just to get a little shine, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody calls Floyd an attention whore, you know what I mean? And hopefully that's just what he was doing, was trying to get attention, because I don't want to see Floyd come back. I even look back at that Conor McGregor fight. I watched Floyd's legs. I watched Floyd's knees. This was in 2017. His legs is gone. You know what I'm saying? His legs is gone, man. And even Manny Pacquiao, I think Manny Pacquiao will get out on Floyd right now. You know what I'm saying? So Floyd need to stay retired, man. He need to stay retired. What we got here, man? Matador says, if he's the last man standing, he definitely deserves to be called the top heavyweight of all time. No doubt. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk in the building. My man D. Jefferson. What's up with your fam? Everybody, go subscribe to Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. He does his thing, man. Donald Brown, what's good with your fam? He says, Fury isn't fighting Wilder. That first Fury left everything in the ring. He will retire before fighting Wilder. We might as well get Ruiz versus Wilder. AJ isn't beating Andy Ruiz Jr. UK fighters are not dogs. He said they just don't have it in them, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that dead gameness in them. He said they curs. They starting to turn. They ain't ready to scratch when it's time to scratch. Speak Your Mind Sports says, hit that like button, man. Show Big Will some love. Yeah, hit that like button, man, for me. I appreciate y'all, man. Matador saying he's coming back for Pacquiao. I hope not. I really hope not, man. Donald Brown says, Mayweather done enough. It's over. Exactly, fam. He reached 50-0. Whether it was against Conor McGregor or whoever it is against, he reached his accomplishments. He's the most successful financially, the most successful fighter ever. And I think ever will be. I don't see another fighter ever being more financially successful than Floyd Mayweather Jr., man. So, I think you just need to give it up. Give it up, man. You did it. You got away with it. So it's time to quit it. Don't come back. His father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., says he hope he doesn't come back. I agree with him. I definitely agree with him, man. I hope he doesn't, man. But listen, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're gonna try to do this more consistently, man. I'm planning on doing this every weekday, man. I'm gonna try to do it every weekday, but don't hold me to it. But that's the plan, man. I'm trying to come on here about 10:15, 10:20. Monday through Friday, man, and try to have some consistency, be more engaging with my subscribers, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one place that I'm lacking in my channel game is the live. You know what I'm saying? So check me out. Look for me tomorrow. I will hopefully be back about 10:15, 10:20. We will chop it up. We will talk about the biggest news from the biggest faces in the sport of boxing. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you did not hit the like button on your way in, I appreciate it if you hit it on the way out. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, like I always say, if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. I got one more comment I'm going to read. Donald Brown says, Wilder is not a wild fighter. His style is his style. Different, no doubt. In the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace.